back to my channel. For today's video, we are going to be going over how we bagged my Thunderbird, but I just want to say one quick thing before we get started. In this video, you're going to hear my husband Bert mention several times that things are temporary to get us ready for the show, and what he means by that is that in January, when my car looked like this, I decided to enter myself into a invitational only car and bike show. With my submission, I said, hey, if you guys accept my currently wrecked car, by the date of the show, I'll have it painted, put back together, bagged, and on wire wheels. And the next morning, they accepted me. So from that date, I had exactly 90 days to complete this. And while 90 days is a pretty good amount of time, me and my husband both work full-time jobs. So we split our responsibilities down the middle. And Bert's really good at suspension and really anything mechanical. So while he was doing this, I was doing what I'm really passionate about, which is paint and body. So I was doing that. You're gonna hear both of us mention that things are temporary and that they could definitely be better. So I just wanted to mention that in case you're thinking like, ooh, that looks kind of crappy. Without any wasted time, let's get started.
Okay, so I figure the back of the car is the best place to start. If you want to come a little closer, the kit comes with a Viair 444 air compressor, which feeds into this 4-gallon air tank. Has a nice little gauge on there so you can see what the pressure is. And the kit comes with a ton of 1/4-inch airline and a few push-to-connect 1/4-inch airline fittings. So the kit comes with a very simple pneumatic paddle system. You pretty much hook up the airline to one side of it, and then the other side you hook up the airline to the bags. And what it does is you pretty much hit the paddle one way, fills up the bag, you hit it the other way, and it purges the air out. It works really good, there's no problems with it. The issue is that I don't really have the room and I wanted to conceal the switches for the air ride a little bit better. So we opted for a RideTech 2-way air block. If you zoom in back here, you can actually see it. It's very temporarily mounted just so we can make it to the show. All this has got to get cleaned up. But the airline from the compressor is right here, feeds into the back of this air block. And then you have these solenoids, which are operated by electric switches mounted in the front of the car, which send air through. This is the front of the bags, and this is the rear bag. And then on this side over here on this air block, there's 2 more airlines coming out, which feed the gauge in the front of the car so we can see what we're riding at. All right, so let's take a look at the front. The kit comes with RideTech Shockwave HQ series front bags, and they mount into the OEM spring and strut location, which makes it a very, very easy install. Just a few bolts on top and then the 1 bolt going through the bottom here. And then you have the 1/4-inch airline feeding the bag. You want to make sure that you have plenty of room for this line so it's not rubbing against anything. And I even installed a rubber grommet where it goes through the fender just to keep it nice and happy. Okay guys, it's going to be a little hard to film, but I'm going to try to show you the rear AIRoverLeaf setup. The kit comes with a bunch of brackets and bags. The first bracket, if you look up here, you can see mounts to the frame. You can either weld or bolt this to the frame. I chose to bolt it as this is only a temporary setup and we're probably going to be going to a 4-link later on to get it a little bit lower. You can see the 1/4-inch air supply line. A little hard to film further on, but it goes to a T-fitting similar to how it's done in the front. And then there is a 1/4-inch airline run to the 2-way block up top. Now, if you go down here, you can see the other bracket of the AIRoverLeaf setup. It actually bolts to your leaf spring, and then the bag bolts to that bracket using this nut. Now, for this to work, you have to remove a few leaves to get it to where you want it to sit right. We removed, I think, 3 or 4 leaves to get it at a nice height and still feeling safe. Another thing that I had to modify is the exhaust placement. The factory OEM exhaust placement comes right through where this bag is currently at. So what I had to do is pretty much just cut it off and put a turn down on it just to get it to work. All right, so under the hood is very simple. You got a power wire coming off the positive of the battery, going through a fuse, going through the firewall, underneath the carpet, all the way to the back to where the air compressor is. And then also, if you zoom in a little closer here, you can see a little T-fitting. This did not come with the kit, had to buy this separate. Now, what this does is pretty much distributes the air to the front bags. Here, you could see this is going to the driver's side bag, and this line is going to the passenger side bag. And then this line right here goes through the firewall and follows the same path as the power wire for the system, all the way back to where you saw that RideTech two-way air block. All right, guys, I'm going to show you where I mounted the switches to control the whole air ride setup. Like I said before, we didn't want to use those pneumatic pedals because of the size, and we didn't have the space. We wanted to kind of conceal the whole system. So if you pan down here, I decided to use the factory ashtray location. You flip that cover forward, made a little plate, and mounted the front and rear bag switches to that plate. At shows, you can close it. Nobody knows where it's at. Nobody can mess with it. As far as the gauge goes, we didn't want to have a big gauge staring you in the face every time you get in and out of the car, especially with this beautiful interior. So we kind of hid it a little bit. If you pan down here, we went with a dual needle gauge that shows us the front and back air pressure, mounted nice and low, out of line of view.
All right, so that sums up everything that we could think of in regards to installing the bags on the Thunderbird. It's very possible that we left down some really key details, so if you have questions, then please drop them below in the comments. This is our first time bagging a car, so we just wanted to show that it is quite easy to do and that anybody can do it. So thank you for watching. Please make sure that you like and subscribe to my channel because there will be a lot more videos coming soon. And give Bert a big thumbs up because he did a great job.
All right, later, guys.